First of all, congratulations on a 740 on the GMAT. You went from 560 to 740. Let me tell you, that's very impressive. What was your first thought when you first saw your score?
Honestly, I was not expecting that score or this score. See, I gave 3 tests: January 21, March 21, and September 21. I got 740 in September with a
All
Count
right.
50, Verbal 40, IR 8, and AWF 5. I was that was the only exam which I was giving confidently, and I was like, I'm on the right track. And when the score popped in, it was a real nice surprise, a happy surprise.
Mhm.
But I was relieved because it was my third attempt. I got an 8 in IR. Okay,
Oh, all
not
right.
the 740, but the 8 in IR, because that's one thing. In last 2 of my attempts, I had got 4. When I got that, I was really happy.
So before we go ahead, can you just introduce yourself to the audience?
I'm a very normal guy. I have been working. I have gained some age. I'm 40 right now. Okay, so I'm not the young chap, young chirpy chap on the block. No, I'm not. Okay, I've been working in media industry for last 15 years. I do media sales. So I've worked for Star News. I've worked for History TV 18. It was a factual entertainment channel. I have worked for TV Today, which is Aaj Tak, and India Today Television. And I have worked for India TV as well. Currently working with NDTV. So my father was in the armed forces. My brother is in the armed forces. And the only job I wanted was to be in the armed forces. I don't want anything else. My schooling has been from Kendra Vidyalayas. I did my graduation from Bareilly and then my MBA from Lucknow University. I am MBA. Okay. And I got 19th rank in UPM CAT. At that point of time, that was the examination which we used to give apart from CAT. I have had a decent score in CAT also. Okay. To have moved away from studies and worked for 15 years, generally, you need a bit of brush up. In between my working environment, I always thought that, something more needs to be done. And GMAT came into my mind for long. But,
So when did you decide to take the exam?
Honestly, GMAT journey should not be more than 3 to 4 months. 100 days is good enough, But I think for me, it was quite long. It was almost 2 years. So I started in January 2020 that, I would give my GMAT. And I came to Jamboree. I met Vaishali. And I said that I want to quit my job and do this and move to, education and then see what I can do best for myself. She said, don't quit your job. And I'll tell you, it was a fantastic advice. In 2 months' time, we work from home. Many people lost their jobs and I kept it. So that's a good advice that Vaishali gave me. Then I rolled into Jamboree Dada Center. In 2 weeks' time, 3 classes and we were off it. And I was going to a class or something after a very long time. And I like being in person. But then COVID hit, everything was blocked and nobody expected what happened. And my preparations went for a toss, honestly. There was nothing in my mind. Jobs jobs were at stake. People were stressed. Businesses were down. And we generally assume that, bankers don't work. My wife works for Bank of Maharashtra. Okay. PSU Bank. So everybody thinks they chill around. Okay. She went to office every day while I was almost work from home for 2 years. Okay. And I've got a young kid at home and she was not even 6 at that point in time. So I had to take care of her. And then came in the request from Jamboree that we are going to go online and videos and all those things are going to pop up. It was an online class format. And let me tell you, I was apprehensive about it. But my general experience was good. My learning was good. And I felt, okay, I am moving on. I got the restart. Okay. I will name 2 people in particular from Jamboree Dada Center. Mr. Pratik used to teach verbal and Rohit Mishra sir used to teach cons. And in particular, you may know, when the way we progress, that I'll really thank Rohit Mishra, the way he helped me through the journey. Okay.
You just told me before this call that your first score was 560.
Yes, I immediately called up Rohit Mishra sir and I said, boss, I want to talk to you. He said, yeah, let's connect on a Zoom call. I was not very well versed with it. And he was like, network is not great and all that. But then he told me, yeah, were you really focusing in the class, or you just were nodding your head?
So were you able to identify the sections where you were struggling?
I would say the first section that Rohit sir said was, Satish, you are not reading the question only.
Mm-hmm.
He said, you may know
Okay.
the concepts, you're not reading the question only. And this is
Okay.
how, I analyze and I realize, yeah, absolutely, I am not reading the question. And if I can say this, the first basic thing that you need to be well versed with is your reading skill should be up the level when you want to give a GMAT exam. I think you need to be able to read in one go and comprehend in one go. If you can do that, 80% of your work is conquered. And this is
Mm-hmm.
the biggest correction that Rohit sir did for me. He said, please read the question, understand it, what it's asking. And that's an even bigger surplus when you go to work. Jamboree has got two books, GMAT 1, GMAT 2. GMAT 1, has got something, all the questions which are done in the class. Obviously, the official guide is also taken care of in the class and all those things. Okay. And then the GMAT 2 is when you have done your GMAT 1 book. And it's very nicely paced, if you ask me. Very, the general direction is very fine. Okay. You'll
Right.
have to put your own effort, but a right guidance is important. So I got a very clear guidance from, Rohit sir as to where to work on. There were certain
Mm-hmm.
sections which I was fine with. Basic
Mm-hmm.
arithmetic, I think all the Indian kids are fine with in generally, whosoever is studying in the
Mm-hmm.
in the schools and colleges and all that. That's not a
Okay.
problem. When it comes to PNC inequalities, okay, a bit of geometry. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's the corner, where the set theories and all that. That's a place, where you need to focus a bit more. Okay. I got 4 or 5 questions in my quant exam in which I scored 740. And inequalities is not something that is, usually, Indian kids are comfortable with, or, generally kids are comfortable. I was not comfortable with that. I was taught very well with respect to inequalities. I was taught very well.
Mm-hmm.
I was
Mm-hmm.
taught decently well with respect to PNC. So on that front, I would say arithmetic, the biggest mistake that kids do is they reply the wrong question. They think this is what they are asking because we don't read the full
Mm-hmm.
question. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That error of mine was corrected by my cons teacher. Okay. Because I would always make that mistake. We read the question, we know these are the variables to be evaluated. We do that. We don't read the last line of the question. What is that they're asking? And this happens with everybody. You can see all the videos of all the centers. My 50 score is to the credit of my teacher. To be honest, the curriculum at Jamboree, the way it is lined up, the online portal, the classes, the material that you get on hand, that is more than sufficient to have at least a 49. I think, many kids from India do, we all do is we get stuck on questions. In both of my exams, I got stuck on questions and I gave 10 minutes, 12 minutes to 15 minutes for 2 or 3 questions. Okay. And I could not complete my papers in both the terms, first and second. And that's the time, I sought, help again from Jamboree. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I had taken
Mm-hmm.
admission in Feb. And then I'll tell you, Rohitji was always there, Pratik was there. I will name Zakira. She called me up and she discussed my thing. I got my ESR and she saw it and all those things. And she said, Satish, I think you know your basics. You are making errors basically.
Mm-hmm.
I also knew that, but how to correct on the errors is the main thing that somebody can guide you through. That makes a lot of difference. You need some encouragement also. I am not 26, 27. So I needed some encouragement which came from Zakira. You know, Rohitji was also there on call always. I had occasional chats with Pratik and I identified my errors with Pratik, few of them. And they know the right timings. I never knew this. Jamboree has got a very fantastic online portal. Many kids don't go and watch that. There are fantastic videos on cons and verbal. If somebody watches that, his 80% of his classwork is done. So when he walks into the class, he knows the basics automatically and he's ready to take the advanced questions. So if
Mm-hmm.
somebody is looking for a very nice, well guided, rounded up information with regards to basics of GMAT, I think Jamboree portal does a fantastic job. There are many more things which have been attached, study materials and all those things have been added. You can do your error logs and everything there only. I recommend everybody to do that. The moment you do that, you are running faster for your goal. Course material curriculum wise, Jamboree is fantastic. The placement of the portal and everything is very good. Jamboree has put all the best possible things to their GMAT 1 and GMAT 2 books and in their tests, mock tests. So instead of hunting for all the good questions, bad questions, this questions, that questions, you can just rely on one set of material, and you are very assured that you have covered everything.
Talk about your testing experience.
When I gave my third exam, like I said, I was unwell and I walked in, peacefully sat onto my table. Please take your time when you sit in the examination. Okay, become very comfortable with the place that you are occupying. Okay, you just start the exam and fatafat we want to get into it. No, take your 2 minutes. When you are filling sundry applications and college names and all that, take your time. Don't make that hurry yourself. In the first attempt, I really hurried myself. Ye kya ho raha hai and ye kya ho raha hai. Don't get perturbed by the settings. I got perturbed in the first exam. Take 30 seconds, take a deep breath, and just calm yourself. And just say to yourself, whatever question comes, I will just cross through it. Okay, I will answer to the best of my ability instead of getting stuck. This was the only thing that I had kept in my mind when I sat for the exam and I started.
If you're given a chance to do everything all over again, what will you do differently this time?
I would have surely enrolled for Jamboree again, but I would have this time gone through their web portal completely before starting the classes. Okay, I would have been up there. During the classes, I would have worked on my reading of the questions, whether it's verbal or cons. Okay. Thirdly, I would have practiced in the manner the docket has been prepared by Jamboree in that flow of GMAT 1, GMAT 2 books. Okay, these are three things. You can go to any preparation center. They are not very far from each other. Okay, but the right flow and support is required. Okay, these are the things I would have done somebody who is taking a break and then coming back to study. I think this flow is the best flow. Okay, for kids who are already studying and all that, they can have their own individual customized approaches. I will not deny that will still work because they are studying. Somebody who takes a break and all that, I suggest, please, instead of wasting your time, enroll into a good center. Okay, go with that.
Say anything to the teachers that taught you
Rohit Mishra sir, he teaches cons very effortlessly. Okay, it's natural to him, and he's a good teacher. He knows the strength of his student, or the weakness also. Pratik, who taught verbal initially, he's one guy who teaches you verbal from the understanding of the sentence point of view. Okay, I think it was Palak whose classes I attended from Delhi. A strict teacher. If you don't read the first class, you don't get to ask questions in the second one.
Okay.
She was very clear into what one should be doing to get good scores in verbal. Okay, you can keep studying English for all your life, but when you're giving an exam, you need to be very clear what you want to answer the questions. Okay, so these people made a lot of difference. I think the guys who feature in the portal videos are fantastic. I would I don't remember their names, but they are good. Yeah, okay, they teach very well. I will take names of Sakira was also a good motivating factor. Imran from Dadar and Andheri Center was really encouraging. He came up with always supportive things. And though there was a time lag in terms of my preparations and all that, but he always allowed me to have the access to classes, to portals, and everything. So that makes a lot of difference. That makes Jamboree maybe what it is.
Any advice for the students who have just started preparing, and specifically in terms of how to keep up the motivation and be relentless during the preparation period?
Yeah, just make up your mind that you want to do it. And once you get a good score, there is a very big horizon which opens up for you. This is what I can say, especially for young kids. At 25, 26, 28, till 30 also, if you are able to give the exam, get a good score, don't worry about number of attempts and all that. If you write on your resume and somebody understands that a GMAT score is this and that, they test you on understanding, application, all those things, reading abilities. It's all somebody who gets a good score on GMAT. You can be rest assured that he has got his common sense absolutely rightly placed. For kids who are wanting to start now, please brush up your basics and take a guided approach to it. You need somebody to guide you through. That's because that will save you time. That will save you energy. GMAT is a very specific to the topic exam. It is not like keep your reading skills up. You will get to the score of 700 and cross it very comfortably. Thanks.
Thank you, Satish, for doing this. This was really helpful. I had a lovely time talking to you. Thank you for doing this.
Thanks, Prashant. One last line. Jamboree is a good place to go when you want to prepare for your examinations. I am not saying this because I have done it with Jamboree. It took me a long time, yeah. And there are not many institutions who keep supporting you for a long period. You know, they want the students to come in, get a score and go. Okay. Because everybody looks at it, it's also a money making mechanism. But, you know, everybody takes money. Somebody who gives you in return is what you should look at. Okay, you should have the right support. So for that, I think, you know, Jamboree is material. I have given or taken GMAT. I have seen fantastic SAT scores all across the classrooms, you know, fantastic SAT scores with young kids, you know, getting into very good schools and all that. And they take pride in their students. Yeah. Thanks, Prashant. Thanks for having me here. Okay.
Thank you.